All right.
All right, we're recording. All right, let's start out with personal and professional best. So, who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay.
We bought our house yesterday. We closed and started moving in. So I'm excited. Personal best. Professional best. I don't know. It's just been a transition trying to figure out what my position really is. Still don't have an office, but we're working on it.
Okay.
We're working on it. I've been working out of Thomas' office.
Okay.
So far. But yeah, I've been able to kind of go hang out at summer school and see how things are going and learning a lot.
Good, good. So it's looking promising for summer school?
Yeah, and I meet with Tim Suba the next 2 days to kind of start planning some professional development.
Awesome. Tim, was he the one from Insight?
Yes.
Yes. All right. He's the one that came and did my program review.
Okay.
Tim, yeah. You weren't there yet. It was before you came in. So it was like right before Christmas he came. You're going to love Tim. He's awesome.
We just had a phone conversation at 11. We've talked for like a half an hour already.
Yeah, he's awesome. I loved him. Bryn liked him too. And I want to describe him as, because I did a one-on-one like conference with her, and she said, she's like, that gorgeous man. I can't believe you had him in here. That beautiful man. That's what she kept calling him. So you're going to love Tim.
All right.
All right. So you have something to look forward to. Bryn.
Personal best, my cat's eating again. You know, she's been sick for a long time.
Yeah.
She stopped eating for a while, and now she's eating again.
So that's always good.
Yeah. Professional best. I just turned in one of my final projects for school for a particular class.
Awesome.
Yep.
That is cool. That is cool. Personal here, we're upstairs finishing my bathroom upstairs. Dave's peeling off the 1970s wallpaper. As you can tell, I still have the 70s going on back behind me. You know, it's a lovely time period. It still exists in my home. So, you know, we got it going on. But upstairs in the bathroom, the 70s is leaving us. And professionally, I did start thinking about my step meetings for next year and the literacy goals. So I kind of have a literacy like template plan laid out that I've shared. And I have like my first 6 weeks of step meetings kind of sketched out a little bit. So I've been working on that and getting this stuff done for my class. All right. Well, I wanted to go into some data that I had on teacher empowerment from McCall last year that I went through. So if you look in the agenda, right down below it, it's best practices for teacher empowerment and leadership checklist. And this was from Todd Whitaker. So what I did was I kind of thought about the year, reflected back on what had happened throughout the year. In different times, I saw opportunities for teachers to be empowered. So one of the things we had that was in Whitaker's idea of teacher empowerment was teachers having an input in professional development. And under always present, I, of course, put the step meetings. And then at McCall, we had our grade level teacher leaders. Sometimes present were the early release Tuesdays, their choice of conferences they could go to. And then on never present was kind of our outside consultant choices who came in to provide those type of professional developments, because I don't feel that the teachers had any input in that. And they had asked me before and had came to me and voiced the fact that they didn't have any input in that. The school improvement plan, I put there that, you know, we did have the ILT. We had teachers that were on the ILT. You know, Dawn was on the ILT. I was on the ILT. We had Debbie Ray, who was on the ILT. And we had Kim, who was on the ILT. So we kind of had it on the ILT. And then the literacy plan, when that went out, when Dawn did the literacy plan, all the teachers were included in that with the analyzing the data, putting stuff into that. You know, they all had a say in the literacy plan. So I felt that that was always present and that they had a say there. I didn't have any that was sometimes present, but under never present were the mission and vision of the school, the creation of goals for the school, and the timelines and action plan for our school improvement plan. Was that was a never present area for us. The next area was our teacher plays a role in setting school-wide policy. Evaluations, the summative evaluations that went in for them to renew their license, that was always present because we did have teachers that went and did at least one of those. So it was peer did the evaluations along with leadership. So they did have a say in that. Sometimes present were in the student rewards and the evaluations that were formative that we did, because I know when I went and I did them with them, I always conferenced with them. When Dawn did it, we always conferenced with them. But then sometimes sometimes were when admin went in. They sometimes just got a feedback form, but they didn't get a conference. They didn't get a say in those forms. And I know when I went in, they were allowed to, with coaching say, okay, this is what I want you to look for. But with admin, it was just, here's our walkthrough form. This is what we're doing. And they really didn't have a say in it. Never present area were the master schedule. And there was a number of complaints about that one throughout the year, was the way the master schedule went. And that was verbalized to me a number of times during the year. And also the discipline after it left the teacher's hands. So after we followed time to teach, or the other one we had was that the teachers didn't have a say in that next step. So a lot of them felt like sometimes kids were just conferenced with and then put back in the rooms. And there was a lot of toss up there. The budget, with the teachers having input there, lab materials for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science, they were given a budget there and they were ordering stuff there. And I also know that the media specialist did put out an email that when she had media money for them to give input as to what they wanted purchased with the media money. Classroom supplies were sometimes, I know I ordered a lot of those with the paper products and stuff. That was kind of, okay, what are we going to order with pencils, pens, and those type of supplies. Something that was never present was really technology items. They never had a good feedback on that. And same thing with academic programs. They kept talking about wanting something different besides the that learning program we had that they were working on. They kept talking about wanting, different things, and there really wasn't an area for them to voice that. Hiring of new teachers was my last area. The media specialist was in on those interviews, but it did not rotate to other classroom teachers. So that's why you'll see like media specialists for always present, and then over on never present, I put classroom teachers, because they really didn't rotate through in any way. It was just the media specialist. They did have mentors for all first-year teachers. Teachers were in on that. Instructional coaches were there for some of the teachers when we could get to it, but there were only 2 of us and, 50-some teachers. And then job fairs. I went to job fairs, and we did have a couple of teachers that went to the school job fairs. So I listed that down there as a sometimes area. So that was basically the little checklist that kind of kicked off what I went into next. And next you'll see those pie graphs, and those are our best practices evidence. And that was where I just went and put everything in there as an always present, sometimes present, never present. So as you can see, we're a little better off on the always and sometimes, because at least our never chunk isn't that big. So I considered that to be that we are moving in a positive direction at McCall. The next one was building efficiency and empowerment among staff at the FSC and empowerment areas there. That was where we were having a little bit of a weakness, because this was allowing teachers to make those decisions on their own, such as the master schedule, that discipline plan, them being able to be included in those, and also the purchasing of technology, knowing what needs to happen, and allowing them to have the avenues to make that happen. So that was an area that I put there. The next one, recruitment and placement of staff. That one we were really well in. When I broke it down that way and looked at that, we only had that 20%, and that was basically, if we would have allowed more teachers in on interviews, that would have came up there. the teacher leadership and decision making, that was about a 50-50 split with them with the labs and stuff. But the area of concern was them not on the school improvement plan as much with that mission, vision, the goals, and all of that coming into play there with that one in that area. Results-oriented professional development. Again, the only area we were really low on there was them having a say with outside consultants. So that one actually looked pretty good. And then the evaluation, the only area there with that 25% with them not having a say at all was the admin form that was given out. And with admin not just sending out basically a reflection form and not really meeting with them or talking with them on that. So the last thing you'll see there is my little plan that I made for us to now work on those weak areas that I had and come up with kind of an action plan, such as what's going to happen with those weak areas. So that was something I wanted us to look at and kind of talk about. So I have specific activities labeled and then kind of who would be responsible and how this would carry out. So, what do you guys think so far? Any questions, comments, feedback? Cool.
Well, I'm processing.
Okay, yeah, I know it was a lot there to put out at one time with where we were at and what we were doing.
Just a quick note that really doesn't have anything to do with this. There's some guys in here to do some work. I may have to cut out before we get done because they're going to have to come in and drill through the wall.
Oh, nice, nice.
Okay. So just giving you a heads up. They said
Okay.
they needed to come in here. They went to another room first. So.
Okay, all right.
But all right, so
my first activity on my little chart below for work time. What are your opinions on that one?
I think the mission and vision of the school is going to be important. Like something that I'm reading as I'm taking all of my classes is once teachers have buy-in for the mission and the vision, that's when you start seeing a lot of accountability occurring, especially if they are participating in writing that mission and vision.
Yeah, and I remember that was one of the things that they hit with us at that first, one of our first, it was after we did our leadership story. Remember the next thing in those classes we took was on the mission and the vision. So yeah, I did include that as an area we need to work on. One of the things that needs to be established for mission and vision would be our timeline and our persons responsible, the resources needed, how we would check on that. Do we have any ideas there on, I know the timeline, that should probably be handled pretty quickly in the school year.
mm-hmm.
I think during, not the whole day, but during some of those teacher work days, everyone could meet together to create the vision and what the vision means to them.
That would be good. Okay, so I can put that down then, that it would occur on one of those, for the timeline, that would occur on one of those first days there, but we come back. Persons responsible, that should probably be led by the principal, shouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Okay. Resources needed.
Chart paper.
Chart paper, of course, our favorite. Chart paper, markers, formative assessment method.
I think that would be just asking students what their vision of the school is, because if the teachers are communicating it.
Yeah, that would be to make sure that it's being carried out. Ask the students, because the students should know the mission and vision of the school for a formative and a summative assessment measure. What do you think?
I don't know if you really need one for that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, we could do like a formative would be the finished mission statement. The summative might be the student saying it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Roll that over that way.
Sure.
And then the goal would be, I would think that mission and vision should be stated, should be hanging in the school.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and should be out there. And an indicator of success would be everyone being able to verbalize
And
that.
able to show it as well. Like if I know one of our big ones is building responsible citizens, so that's something that you could see as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be an indicator of success, would be the students actually carrying it out and it being posted for all to see. All right. I'm going to cut this recording for the clip. Let me go ahead and get that.